Welcome to You'll Find It Here.
I love
Whether or
that.
not you had a baby recently, a flat tire, or just got dumped, you won't find any of the answers that you're looking for here. But what you will find is some escapism.
Love escaping.
My name is Frank, and my partner, friend, well, not partner, my friend,
With Gen Z partner means he does mean
business
life
partner,
partner, just letting everyone
um,
know.
escape artist by day, travel agent by night, Layla.
He's not my life. I mean, he's my life partner in a different way, not romantic or any other emblems of that. I grew up in Kuwait. I summered, not summered like that, but like came to Long Island for the summers. I went to school in DC, which is how I met Frank. And we've been friends ever since. Although in the beginning, he'll tell you that we were friends instantly. The truth is that my roommate at the time was a big fan of his. And he and her became friends, and I just happened to be there. And then once he rushed, she was no longer interested in being his friend, kind of. JK, she didn't want to talk about the rush process. And so I, being from Kuwait and only knowing Greek life from TV and film, was like, oh my God, tell me everything. Let me help you decide. And after that, my freshman year best friend ended up transferring. So sophomore year, we kicked it off strong, participated in Welcome Week and all. And then we became really good friends. And this is the longest we've gone without seeing each other. It's 7 months now, the longest since 2012, 2011, whatever. Not to age ourselves.
Yeah, because I'm in New York. I forgot to.
Yeah, he's in New York. I'm in
New
LA.
York. She's in LA. So we're by coastal friends.
We're hoping that this podcast helps other people who are lonely, because the loneliness right now apparently is higher than even during the pandemic. So hopefully you could turn this on and you could find camaraderie, stupidity, laughing, fun facts, like like good takeaways about things maybe you didn't know. Like maybe you didn't know that the loneliness record is higher now than the pandemic. I just imparted some wisdom.
There's no data that goes with that wisdom. But
No, there is data. I just don't have the study right now. Maybe next time I'll have a study pulled up. But this is like going to be your all like one-stop shop for all things to make you feel whole, like while you're on your walks. Because I know that's what I use my podcast for, or like finding friends and like feeling like I'm part of something. And I think Frank and I have really good banter and like really fun conversation. I think we're both super engaging. I realize it sounds so egotistical, but no, that's like part of why I feel like this podcast will be like a fun place for people who feel they don't have anywhere to go right now.
and yeah, just to reverberate kind of the same sentiments, I ideally would love to see this podcast, just be an opportunity for Layla and I to, build on our friendship because we haven't seen each other in so long, but also give us an opportunity to grow, learn more about ourselves, whether it's through viewer interaction. I mean, and I hope listeners start to interact more and more, to really kind of build that community that we used to have when you were living in New York City. And I think just as life progresses, it's friends dwindle. That's a known thing. I think everyone always says you kind of eventually end up with 5 of your closest friends.
Is it
But
really
even that
5?
sometimes, I think people say 5, or
Oh
I know
my
that the fact is
God.
like you're an amalgamation of the 5 people, that the closest people in your
That you hang
lives.
out with. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I think it's also statistically that's also kind of how the number of friends, if not fewer, that you start to dwindle down to as people grow in different directions. And I think this would be a great opportunity for us to connect with more people, because that is what we thrive on. We both
yeah.
love people. We talk to strangers all the time, whether they're on a bar or in a bar, on a plane, on a train, whatever, that's kind of just,
Automobile.
yeah. They find us, and I love those interactions, but I would love even more to build something that's ours, and a community that we can continue to build on. I'm saying build a lot, but
I think we should call them, like, you know how Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy has Daddy Gang, and like Harry Jowsey, who is going to come up very soon in this conversation,
okay.
he's trying to figure out like what to call his, and he's like, maybe should I call you guys like little possums, because that's what he calls people. Maybe we could call ours the Escapists. Eventually, when we have a following, oh my God, we could get shirts.
The
Uh,
Escapists. It's kind
yeah,
of
the
good.
escapists.
We'll
Oh,
see.
I love it. But yeah, I mean, again, who knows like where that's gonna come from. But beyond that sentiment, I think a fun fact to know about Frank, and then we're gonna leave the introductions here because
I hate introductions.
I know it's and last time was just so funny.
They were so good. I'm
They were
so upset
so
we
I'm
lost that
so
recording.
upset too. Guys, like Frank and I don't know who guys are, but the two people listening right now, Olivia and Kaz.
My sister and my mom.
And my mom too would listen.
And oh yeah, I did this disclaimer before. Anyone that works with me, or if you know me in real life, I'm happy to have you here. You'll find it here, but
Don't
please
discuss it
note
elsewhere.
we will not discuss this Monday morning at work. Give me the like, the comment, the follow, the share. Give Layla and I the like, comment, the share.
Yeah, hello.
Sorry, this is
Lest we forget who wanted to hear their own voice on a mic, and thus the podcast was
and I'm
born.
supportive, so I'm here. We're here. If you're here, happy to have you. We don't discuss this in real life, all right?
Yeah, Frank claims he doesn't want to go back and hear himself. And I was like, the whole reason, the way that this podcast came up, I mean, there are so many ways, but beyond just the fact that I've recently started listening to a ton to feel like I have friends, I want to hear my voice on a mic.
I hate the sound of my voice. I'm really hoping this mic is doing something for me because I'm not a fan.
I also am not a big fan. I generally sound nasally, but I think that I sound more mature. I was recently told in an audio note that I sounded more mature and that I should not take it as an offensive thing, that I should take it as a compliment.
I
But
don't know if he was necessarily discussing the tone. It could have just been the
I think he
resonance
said
and the
like my
confidence.
voice. If I didn't delete the whole conversation, I would
I
be
think
able
you
to
need to
pull it
delete
up.
the whole conversation.
Yeah, it's gone now. But anyway, I love the ASMR of it all. Like if I do this, you guys can really hear the ice. So I'm very into the mic. But anyway, so this will be what it will be. Like you'll come here to find whatever you're looking for. Hopefully it'll help you on your walks or in the shower or on your wherever you listen to podcasts, however you listen to podcasts.
I know we're going to be looking back on this and we're going to be cringing at ourselves. And I'm sure that if you're listening, you're probably going to be cringing at moments, but bear with us while we hit our stride and figure this out. I know we're going to get it.
Yeah,
And if you're
agreed.
not cringing at your initial product and your initial release, then you're not doing something right.
And you're a
Is
liar.
Yeah. And I wish I remembered who I'm quoting right now. I'll have to go back and see, but it's an entrepreneur. I don't remember who it was.
We could add it to the notes when you
Yeah,
look it
add
up.
it to the notes. That's enough
What's the
introductions.
quote?
No, that is the quote. If you're not cringing, like if it's
Oh,
essentially if you're not cringing at your initial product, then you're not doing something right. Like you've launched too late is what the
Oh,
quote is.
love it. Yeah, no, I think we're definitely going to be cringing. I also
Might have been
think,
Spanx.
oh, love
Might have been. I
Spanx.
have to double check.
I do think that, oh, I have to take a breath. This is also like, we have like generally 3, 4, not 4, like 2 hour conversations on the weekends to catch up and like just chat and gab and pretend we're together when we're not. So I think this is going to be an extension of that. And we're just like bringing people along because again, I think that we're so entertaining.
Sure,
Um,
still out for me, but you know, if you find this entertaining, prove Layla right, please.
yeah, prove me
Um,
right.
Not a bad thing.
So I wanted to tell you though, I've been dying to tell you for the past couple of days, but I was like, I'll save it for Sunday. I started watching Perfect Match. And the only reason I'm not generally a reality TV I mean, I have become it now because that's all I
If you're
want
only
to
listening
watch.
to us, just know that I'm shaking my head at this.
So Netflix has a show, Perfect Match, and there's this guy on it. I'm not going to name his name actually, but he's the reason I started watching it because he has like a really known reputation. Actually, I can't name it. Harry Jowsey. He has a
Oh, you're
really,
gonna just drop the name.
yeah, I mean, he's getting it hard from all angles. I do kind of feel bad, but also
Like in a bad way?
yeah, I mean, the
Oh.
way he, like, I want to send you clips of his podcast. Like, the way he talks about women is, and you know me, I'm all about like,
Is it like a Matt Rife situation or
no,
different?
it's more like a 25-year-old, like, fuckboy vibes. And so, I mean, he's 26 or 27, but he's like Australian, he's 6'5", like, he's very,
Blue eyes? Finance?
Blue eyes, not finance.
Almost.
He worked like grew up in Australia, lived on a farm. Like very very cute guy, known in the like Netflix universe as he started on Too Hot to Handle, like just known as this like player. And like in LA too, he's known as like having a reputation with the ladies, not a great one, and has had all like these dramatic breakups, whatever. And you feel bad for him because he does have this sense of like innocence, like when you watch him. But anyway, so he's the reason I watched the show because
Sense of
I
innocence does not vindicate, not vindicate, that's not the right word. Does not free
diminish.
you. Yeah.
I know, but he like, oh, you have to watch it. But anyway, so he's the reason I started watching. So I start watching and I'm like, wait, I'm kind of into this. The show's like, if you're not watching, which I know you're not, the show's concept is basically like you match up with someone, you go and sleep with them at night, and then the next day you don't have to sleep with them like that. You just sleep in the same room. And then the next day you have a compatibility challenge, and whoever wins that gets to go on a date, and then they get to pick who comes into the house and like to break up
I
these
saw the
couples.
trailer, so I think I actually, yeah, I have a concept of it.
Yeah, so I like didn't realize, I don't know if I'm just like in the mood for love or again the loneliness aspect, but I was like falling for something. I was like, oh my God, oh, there's this one couple, Steven and Alara or Alana, I don't Alara, and they were super cute. And I'm like, oh my God, the Harry drama. I was like, he couples up with a woman who has a child, a 10-year-old
Okay.
child. He is 26 and he
It doesn't
is
mean anything.
no, it doesn't. But he like his
I mean,
reputation.
yeah, realistic, but no, it doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But it's also like he's not in a place. He says that he wants to settle down this year, have a baby. And so he was like, I want to, like, he kept bringing up this woman's daughter's name. Like, when he would cry because he did something bad, he's like, I wasn't the man that deserves you and X.
Oh God, this is.
Yeah, so it was just I was like, wow. But I've been really hooked. I forget the whole point of this, but basically just that Harry Jowsey. Like even though he was so crazy and like cringe and like the stuff he says, like I've started listening to his podcast and like
Okay.
the way he talks about women and like his experiences with women is so cringe, but there's still something about him, and this is where I think it's his strength, that like you want to be like, oh, like there's like this benefit of the doubt situation where you're
Is it the
like,
benefit of the doubt situation, or is this just a cultural like implication that all girls like that type of guy? Like the bad guy, like the bad boy. And then you're constantly, but he's literally saying and showing you his cards that
yeah.
he's a dirtbag. I
He
haven't even
literally
seen the
says
show. I haven't seen the show. So
he
like
says
just
he's a dirtbag.
okay, so if he's literally sitting there and saying, I'm a dirtbag, it is so typical for women to be like, but it's not even the change him. It's the like you guys just are disregard, like you
We
see
want to
the
be chosen. We want to be chosen by the
he's a
bad
red
boy.
flag, and yet somehow you've turned it into a green. It's not even a beige. You're just like, yes, but he's still great. No, he literally just told you I'm horrible.
But he wants to change. Like now he is
He
going
doesn't
back.
want to change. If he wanted to change, he wouldn't be on these shows pulling the same nonsense and on his podcast saying the
I
same kind of
know.
shit.
And
And
that's
even if,
true.
but then on top of that, if he wants to quote unquote change, he's still speaking the way that he is on his podcast, I'm assuming. So like then what? It's just a marketing ploy to make money and views. Then that's even worse.
I can't decide. I can't like separate the stuff he says on his podcast from him,
His
who he
appearance.
is and his looks. Like I don't know. I don't know what it is. Harry Jowsey, if
See,
you're
this is
listening,
this is what
shoot me a
the
DM.
problem. Again, I don't even know what this man looks like. I'm sure he's very attractive.
I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Sure, go
We're
for it.
gonna get the real time reaction. But he's not. Here's the thing: is you can't get the appeal just from the photo.
What, I need
Harry.
a nasty personality to go with
Yeah.
it? I will say his photos and the vibe he gives off definitely doesn't seem bad.
Ay, ay, ay. If anyone else is a Noah Khan fan or Kahan or Khan, however you want to pronounce it, he was playing here at the Hollywood Bowl, and I was like stalking websites for tickets. And if anyone has been to the Hollywood Bowl, you know how annoying it is to get there, get up to your seats. Like
Oh, is it
it's
bad? Not a great venue?
it's in the middle of Hollywood. The parking situation is always like a mess. Phone
Have
was
you been to
already
a concert alone?
Have I been to a concert alone? Yes, I've been to a Lainey concert alone, but that's different
How was
because
that?
it was I did not enjoy it. And one, it was all USC kids. Two, it was all couples.
Mm.
Three, you're like standing room only, so you're like with these people like grinding on each other, slow dancing with each other, making out, and I'm
I
standing
mean,
there
yeah,
like
Lainey also
alone.
at that time was a lot more, the vibe and the music they were doing
Very
wasn't,
emotional.
yeah, I was gonna say it
Yeah,
was
and I was
very
like over
emotional,
there
very
like
coupley.
woo.
Yeah.
And we had already seen the show in New York together. It was the same one that we saw
Yeah.
at
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Terminal 5. So I was like, never again.
You don't think you'd ever do a concert again alone, or like Laney in particular, or Lany? I don't even. Is it Laney?
It's Lainey, yeah.
That's what I thought.
I don't think that I would. I don't, but you know me. You're really good at doing stuff alone. I would say I am in terms of like,
I feel like we both are. I'm like,
yeah,
yes, I do everything alone. I've gotten to the mentality over the years that if I'm not going to wait for anyone to do something alone, or I'm not going to wait for anyone to do things because when you wait, you never get it done. It just never happens.
yeah,
People get into spirals of planning and no one ever triggers it. But I think I have also gotten to a point where I am too comfortable doing everything alone. Like I'd
yeah.
rather, why bring people along if I can just do it alone
Do
type
it
thing,
alone, yeah.
which isn't great either. But I've never done a concert alone. And I just bought tickets to Griff in September alone,
Oh,
which also
fun.
is like,
That's also a sad one
I
though.
know, I was going to say, that's really sad to do alone. Like,
When in
I love her
September?
music. What's up?
When in September?
I have to double check. And don't get me, I love her music, and I'm glad that she's starting to blow up. I think she just announced that she's going on tour with Sabrina Carpenter. Um,
Oh, Sabrina
yeah,
Carpenter is having a moment actually
that
right
she's
now.
going to be opening for her now. And I again, I love her music. I'm glad that she's starting to really blow up. It's September 17th. It's a Tuesday.
Oh, I definitely won't be here.
Yeah,
There.
so it's a random day, but I don't know. Like I really want to see her concert. Maybe I'll find someone to tag along, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never done one alone. That it's a weird activity to do alone.
It is. I also like just don't love like you are like Frank has traveled alone, like you've traveled obviously
All the
alone.
time. Yeah.
I truly was given the opportunity to go to Paris last year. I think it was last top of last year.
Also, you keep picking like the worst things to go alone. Paris is the city of love. You're going solo. Like, granted, I was gonna do a Paris alone, but then I never did because it's oh,
It's sad.
this was the riots though, when or
Oh
like
yeah.
it was everywhere. So I was like, I'm not gonna go to the city of garbage.
And now you can't go until like
No,
post
because now it's
the
the Olympics. It's
Olympics.
going to get
Yeah.
destroyed. It's going to be horrible. Everyone and their mother went to Paris
I
beforehand, and
know.
that's when I should have done it. But then it was
Same.
either the garbage or the bed bugs. So
I
like,
know.
really
We
not a
never
win
won.
there.
We should go to
And
the south of France.
I would
We
know
have to like
absolutely.
also pick I was thinking about this earlier. We have to pick a vacation this year. We haven't done one yet.
No, I mean I was supposed to go on vacation and ended up in hospital. So long story short, I'm having an insane year, so I hopefully won't will be
He
able
hasn't
to
taken a
travel
vacation
again.
since he started, and it's
Yeah,
been 6 months now, which
actually, before I
fair.
even started, the last
Yeah,
time I took a vacation was probably almost a
Hilton
year
Head.
ago. It was August was the last time
Yeah.
I took. And I know that's might be check your privilege a little bit because some people don't even get to take a vacation a year, but um,
We got to change that. Gen Z is doing a good job right now of
yeah, they have
pushing
the
the
work
like,
life balance. They
yeah,
have the work life balance, and I definitely need to learn how to do that more. I feel like if I'm not working, like Friday, we're fortunate enough to have early, summer Fridays, and I get done working around 1, 2 p.m. And then I spiral because I'm like, what do I do with the
yeah.
rest of my Friday? Which is an insane problem. Like most people would be jumping at going to the shore or something. And meanwhile, I'm spending that extra 4 hours spiraling, trying to
Yesterday he
figure out what
texted
to
me.
do
He's
with
like,
my
I'm in a
life.
mood.
Yeah.
I have to go work. And then he texted me like 2 hours later. I feel much better now that I've done that I've been working. I was like, well, that's great. But
But
I
that
get it. It's
wasn't
like a sense
also
of
that wasn't my
purpose.
job. That's all on
No,
my like
his side
side
hustle.
hustles. I'm a typical Gemini, jack of all trades, master of none. So I'm in the process of doing some other, hopefully launching
Some cool
a
stuff.
jewelry brand. Um,
We'll feature it on our Instagram page when we set it up.
yeah.
I feel like I wish I was that person that like I don't know. I'm just, and not, it's with me. It's like a whole bigger thing because I just don't know how to stay still. It's even like with just being in the apartment. It's been an adjustment to have to stay in the apartment when all I want to do is like run away. Again, escape artist. This is
Yeah.
literally the point.
But it's that old saying of like busy hands keep a calm mind or something like that. I
Yeah.
probably am ruining that or just like however. I'm
I
not
think
saying
I
it
know what
correctly.
you're talking about though.
Yeah.
It was like
But
a
I think
busy
there's
hands.
something to that. We're not as young as we once were. Not that I
What are you saying?
but we just can't get away with the hangovers are longer. We don't
Mhm.
bounce back as quickly. And
For those who drink.
with my near death experience in
I was just gonna say we have to add at the bottom NDE. So from now
yeah.
until he gets over it, every time Frank brings up NDE, he's referring to his near-death experience,
Which was
his
just like a
kidney
kidney
infection.
infection. Yeah. But like
But it was, by the way, guys. Like
small
it's funny
things
now, but it
really
was.
random small things affect our bodies differently, like I
You know
started a
why?
new
It's because we
medication
don't take a
and
break.
I still think the new medication is partially to do with this. I took my first dose of this medication and ended up in the hospital. And actually,
Yeah.
freak story. When I got back to work that week, one of my coworkers was saying that her husband was on the same medication, which whatever I could say, Humira. I think he was doing it for I don't know what he was on it for, but after he started his initial dose, he ended up in the hospital with a brain infection.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that's
So
crazy. Don't take
then,
it again then.
yeah. And then I'm like, oh, meanwhile, I took my first dose and ended up in the hospital with a kidney infection. And these could just be like freak coincidences, and I know these are like immune system suppressants. So like you're bound to have some sort of issue come up
Yeah.
at some point. But what a weird.
That's I don't like that.
Yes,
But
and he switched off that medication, and my coworker sent me what he's on now, so I'm curious to look into it. But that's a whole nother.
yeah,
That's a
how
little
frequently
insane.
were you supposed to take it? Like that's kind of crazy though. That's two people in one sample
Yeah,
size. Like
which is kind of just odd. And granted, the sample size isn't that large, but it just seems that that
it's
such a
enough. One is
infection,
enough.
like a weird bodily infections out of nowhere, after taking their first initial doses or whatever, taking doses of this.
I'm not sick. I tested negative for COVID. And my I just letting
We're
you know.
not making people test for this podcast. She's just a
No, it's
little
just
crazy.
no. Yes, yes. My sister-in-law is a big reader of the Bridgerton books, Gabby, and
I've heard a lot
she,
from the storyline.
yeah, and she was saying that part of it is like when you're so dedicated to the books and then you know they're making it into a TV show, you're like
Yeah.
looking for that. And so it's this, the more and more they do IP, it's like, are you going to just disappoint everybody?
Yeah, at that point, like, why are you even doing IP at that point?
Yeah, unless they're doing it as a jump off point.
So, but I know the author has been giving approval for a lot of things. I believe I read something where um, she was mentioning that they asked for approval before changing some of the storylines.
Mm.
Like I think who is it, Francesca? I think she originally, I think her husband in the storyline actually originally has a brother that she eventually ends up with, not a
Cousin,
sister.
cousin,
Oh, cousin. Oh,
but
yeah,
is
yeah.
also a guy, yeah,
Yeah. So I think but I know the author gave approval for the gender
to
swap.
change.
So I think the author's staying very close to it, but I'm not, obviously I don't know.
Yeah, you're like in the pocket with her being like, hey, Shonda,
Yeah.
are you talking to her? Make sure it's okay. Are you going to get the Loewe shirt?
Absolutely. I don't know.
Yes.
It's
You should do it.
I
You
want
should do
to.
it. It's not
so
that
cute.
bad.
And so if anyone, what I'm talking about, I love Johnny Bailey
Mm.
how we're getting here is Bridgerton, Johnny Bailey. He was in Fellow Travelers, which phenomenal show with
Oh, fair. Frank has to explain my thought pattern sometimes because
yes. with good old Matt Bomer. And in one of the scenes, I don't even, it's, you have to watch the show, but he's like chugging milk, and Matt Bomer's like, oh, you make sure you drink your milk. And it like just is like dribbling down his shirt. And so Lueve and Johnny Bailey, or Jonathan Bailey, I don't even know if he goes by Johnny. I'm just calling him Johnny.
he does.
Um, are doing a collaboration because Jonathan Bailey launched a new
Foundation.
Thank you, for queer youth, I believe. I haven't looked into it enough, but
it's about erasing shame, basically.
Oh.
Like to for LGBTQIA plus youth to erase the idea of shame around who they are and who they love.
Oh, that's nice. I should actually probably do some reading.
It's called Shameless.
So they're doing a collaboration, and they're selling this T-shirt that he wore. I don't know what party it was, but he had like the angel wings on, this like drink your milk shirt. And I was planning on doing something like that for Halloween anyway. And it's for a good cause. The only issue is this T-shirt's about $230, I think.
Which, okay, yes. Okay. Acknowledging right now, everybody's poor, but it's
okay,
for...
First of all, it's not acknowledging that everyone's poor. We're acknowledging that everyone is
financially strapped. Is that better?
This time is a financially strapped time.
So
it is.
I get it, but it's for a good cause. It's a designer brand, and it's not that insane. Like, you know, they have a tank top that's super cute too if you want to add it to your bag when you buy the shirt that I really want.
I don't think I'm gonna be like this is groceries for like 2 weeks, this T-shirt.
Yeah, true.
Like that's it's
more than that.
To put it into context, not like in New York City. Oh my god, no. You want to talk about for a month?
Well, no, I mean, I only buy
also you eat minimal at best. No,
I have not recently though.
Maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks for me, especially in the city.
Yeah,
things, inflation and everything. It's insane. It's absolutely insane
in terms of crazy things. I got this random eye issue, and apparently it's an autoimmune disease, and my eyes now either water like crazy or they're super dry, which hence the watering. But they build up allergies. Yes, I'm sure, because it builds up like this stuff on the ridge. Anyone who has blepharitis, hit me up.
What's it called?
I think it's posterior or interior blepharitis. I'm on a support group on Facebook for it, but I don't like to be on it. I have it actually hidden because it grosses me out a little bit.
Are you interacting on the support group?
No, I never have. I went on when I was trying to do my own research because I wasn't getting answers and I was frustrated. I went on it to start to see if anyone had what I had. And no, people had it way worse, to be honest.
That's unfortunate. I mean, see, but this is like the power of the internet. You know, like who knew that there was a blepharitis support group? I mean, I'm happy. That's like, I mean, that's good. That's what these things are for. Like, that's the whole point of the internet is to connect. And I don't think I would have never have known. Or
well, the only reason I thought to look for it is Manira. My sister was also in a car accident. We're great drivers.
I will just say I taught Layla how to drive in the US when she first moved here, and she was a much better driver before she moved to LA. So I'm gonna actually say LA and Kuwait probably does not generate the best drivers.
I'm still a great driver.
I've never seen anyone speed faster to a red light.
Not anymore.
I don't know where everyone in LA is rushing off to, but they're all racing to a red light and they slam on their brakes at the last 10 seconds. And then they're like, oh my God, how did I hit the person in front of me?
No.
Yeah, no shit.
No. First of all, I don't speed. Okay, I used to speed and like I'd race other cars that they didn't know that we were racing. But in my little Ford.
Problem in LA, my friends.
But no, I am a very safe driver. Very safe. Like to the point that sometimes I put my emergency hazards on so that other cars don't come near me safe.
That's causing more problems on the road, but I won't get into that. That's a whole nother problem for another day.
Anyway, like back
I
to
didn't
the.
even know you did that. You're out of your mind.
Oh my God, no. One time it took me on the highway and I was so scared, so I put my emergency lights on
Layla.
so that no one would come near me. Um, anyway, point being, Manira, my sister who was in an accident, had this like just crazy knee thing, and she found a support group for people that had also had it on Facebook, and she was like, "This is how I'm seeing what people are doing to get better," and like Facebook has
That's good.
everything. Yeah, so that's what made me choose Facebook support for my blepharitis.
Oh shoot, I have something on the stove. 1 second.
What? Is this your tea or is it something else?
It's okay. We're good.
What was it?
I'm making I'm making like a batch of hot tea on the stove. It's on really, really low setting, but then I ice it. I'll put it in a pitcher and
Oh,
like ice
nice.
it. But because I got this like tea blends from I guess an apothecary or something that comes down. We have farmers markets every Sunday. So I get a couple of their blends and then I ice it for the week, and they're really,
Nice.
really good. I can always get the name later and shout them out. But I forgot that I
Sponsor
threw this
us.
on the stove for like an hour ago. I could have been here like kitchen on fire, eventually
Dead.
would have noticed.
Oh my God, speaking of, you should watch What Jennifer Did on Netflix. Great documentary.
What did Jennifer do?
Okay, this is also crazy. I'll leave you with this.
Okay, is this our closing note?
This is our closing note.
Okay.
This girl, Jennifer, okay, her mom dies, like is shot, and her dad is shot in the eye. And so then they put him in an induced coma because she calls 911 because she called 911 saying that people broke in and
Okay.
were killing her parents and like trying to kidnap her, whatever, but she was unscathed. And she was the only witness. Okay. First of all, the girl looks like she's like 14. She's not. She's like at least in her 30s, if not late
Are we talking
20s.
about the actress or like the girl?
No. It's a documentary.
Oh, okay.
So these are like police recordings. And then she like tells her version of the story. They interview her like ex. They start to find out like different things. Then the dad, who's in an induced coma, who's the only other witness, wakes up and gives other details. I'm not going to ruin it for anyone. Gives other details. And well, I guess I am going to ruin it because this is the crazy part. And it
So
turns
if anyone
out,
wants to watch what Jennifer did, this is your time to close out.
yes, close out. I'll give it a second so that you can leave. Bye. Okay.
See you next week.
See you next week. Good chatting. So basically, she contacted her ex, who contacted somebody else for her to basically hire someone to kill her parents.
So she went through her ex to hire a hitman, essentially.
Basically, yeah, 3 hitmen. Guess how much money they wanted for this to kill 2 parents, break into the home and kill 2 parents in Canada.
Are we talking about Canadian dollars or are we going to talk US dollars? Okay,
yeah,
whatever. I don't know. Well, now, like you putting this out here, I normally would think this is expensive, but I'm now like the way that you're wording this, I'm going to assume what, like $300 a person?
$2,000 to come in to break into the home and kill her 2 parents. $2,000. That's less than rent.
Yeah, that is actually.
It's less than rent to take somebody's life. Less than half of the rent.
Take out both of your parents, actually.
Yes. Huh. Yeah. Yep. So noted. I don't know, like who accepts $2,000 for murder, double homicide.
Oh Lord!
And the girl had done this before. She'd paid other hitmen.
That is too much work for know your worth, hitmen. Know your worth.
Yeah, know your worth. Now you're all in jail, but
like, what are you talking about? Only taking $2,000.
I know, truly. Like now you're first of all, you're all over TV. Everyone knows who you are. Second of all, except for one who's like skull head or whatever was what they refer to him as, or bad bones or something. Who like organized the whole hit, but with her ex. But I was just like, $2,000, like wow, that's nothing.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work to kill 2 people and try and get away. I mean, clearly they weren't very good. They didn't get away with it. Well,
I mean, they killed the mom and then they didn't quite kill the father.
Yeah, but then they also got caught. So like,
yes, because thank God the dad woke up. Otherwise, I mean, they still like had questions about her story. It didn't make sense. But
so she's got to be in jail now too. Then
her and then the 3 guys.
and
And the
the
guy that helped the
ex-girlfriend.
conspiracy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think now they're filing for an appeal though. Anyway, it's a really good documentary. Highly recommend it. I usually like a documentary series more than a documentary film, but it was like an easy hour and a half, very interesting,
Hmm.
like well paced. Definitely recommend.
Cool.
Yeah. All
We'll use
right.
that as our closing notes or closing
Definitely.
story.
I will talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you later. And if for everyone who's listening, if you made it this far and this long, thank you. And please come back next week. And if you have any feedback, good or bad, any opinions or anything you want to hear us talk about, send them our way.
And remember, opinions are not right or wrong.
But they can be wrong.
Yes, they can. But I mean, like, don't give me your opinion thinking that your opinion is correct
Oh, I see
and
what
that
you
I'm
mean.
wrong. You know,
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we're not afraid to call you out on this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So for our like good friends.
Yeah. But definitely give us some feedback.
Yes, please. And just, bear with us while we catch our stride. It will be
Yeah.
fun. Next time we will record from the beginning where we have like our full coffee energy.
Oh, it was so good.
It was so good. I'm heartbroken, to be honest.
It's okay. I think we made up for it.
I think so too.
All right.
All
So
right.
see you next week. You'll find
Logging
it
off.
here.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.